Stephanie, how have you been? Good, thanks, Susan. I nodded compliantly and tried to look sad. We did some powerful work in the last session. Yes, I've been thinking a lot about my father this week. I sighed, shaking my head. Well, that's understandable. I'd like us to do an exercise today, if that's okay with you. Whatever you think, Susan, you're the expert. She smiled, got up from her chair, walked to the corner of the room, lifted a wooden stool and placed it between us to make a triangle. Sitting back down, she held her hand out towards the stool like a lackluster magician's assistant. I want you to imagine that your father is sitting on this stool, Stephanie. I want you to talk to him, to tell him what's happened and why you're here. I took a deep breath. Well, Daddy, you're not looking so great, I said. Susan didn't bat an eye when I looked at her, just looked back at me in the direction of the empty stool. Well, Daddy, I suppose you've been watching me since you died. That'd be typical you, but you can hardly judge, can you? Yep, affair with my boss. I'm just like you, am I not, Daddy? I was really getting into this stage. I started out stealing Twixes and now I've graduated to men. But now work have sent me here, Daddy. Everyone hates me in the office. They're glaring at me, Daddy. They've hidden my favourite cup. Then I started screeching and put my head between my hands. I sobbed for as long as I could get away with. I had discovered this was the best way to while away these mandated sessions. Eventually, as she always did, Susan leaned across with the tissue. Well done, Stephanie, she whispered. Now, with your permission, I'd like to examine what you said to your father. Okay, I sniffed. You mentioned stealing, Stephanie. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Oh, I used to steal things when I was a kid, buttons from school, money from my mother's purse, those sorts of things, the usual kid stuff. And why did you stop? Did your father catch you? Well, he hit me with his belt, but that didn't stop me. I got caught by a security guard in boots. And were you prosecuted? Nah, they let me off with it because of my father's death. I was very lucky. Okay, so I'd like to bring you back to the act of stealing. So you simply stopped after getting caught. I just couldn't do it after that, to be honest. I lost the nerve and my mother was so upset. Your mother? Yes, we'll come back to her. But you said you feel you stole this man, Jeff, your current boss. Well, I suppose I was always attracted to attached men. And are there any attached men in your life at the moment? I thought of Jonesy. No, I said. I think I've learned my lesson, getting caught in the office and all that. Well, that's positive, I suppose. Now, we are drawing close to the end of our session. So I'd like you to think about your addiction to drama more in the coming week so we can return to it next time. Addiction to drama. She tilted her head. I suggest that the affair was a substitute for your inability to face up to the circumstances of your father's death. A compulsion to repeat the drama so you could control it as such. Your father being found dead in bed with your teacher. That was a very traumatic experience for a young woman just reaching puberty. Oh, I said, I see what you mean. I was nodding vigorously, as if this was all so insightful and I had never read a fucking pop psychology book or a Marie Claire article in my life. So, will you mind yourself this week, Stephanie? Mind myself. Well, we discussed ways of relaxing. Have you tried any of my suggestions? Well, no, I thought about what you said, but I'm more of a magazine person than a hot bath person. Oh, yes, I saw you reading a gossip magazine in the waiting room. That's an unusual choice for a woman like you, a woman like me. Well, from what you've told me in the last 3 sessions, you're a very intelligent woman, Stephanie. You did very well at college. You walked straight into a job after your A-levels. You were headhunted for the position you're in now. I'd just like to switch off. Well, I wouldn't exactly call these gossip magazines switching off, Stephanie. Given your life history, it's more like switching on. Oh, I see what you mean. Perhaps the Psychologies magazine or an Oprah would be more conducive to relaxing, and you could even try to read one in a hot bath. Oh, I said, yeah, well, thank you, Susan. I will think about it in the next week. I walked out smiling, straight past the next client who was engrossed in her phone. Outside, I dumped the magazine in the nearest bin and opened a few buttons on my blouse.